Hundreds of Ukrainian expatriates were demonstrating outside the White House as President Obama announced that the U.S. was taking action against those deemed to have undermined Ukrainian democracy, and the president was clear on Crimea.
The proposed referendum on the future of Crimea would violate the Ukrainian Constitution and violate international law. Any discussion about the future of Ukraine must include the legitimate government of Ukraine. In 2014, we are well beyond the days when borders can be redrawn over the heads of democratic leaders.
The protesters welcomed the sanctions, but some said the pressure needed to be intensified.
We can do a lot more than we're currently doing. I think we're an economic power. We're still the world's #1 economic power, and we could be sanctioning Putin, all of his cronies.
Don't let up the pressure, whether it's sanctions or just supporting Ukraine and letting them know that America is on Ukraine's side.
But opinion polls suggest little appetite in the U.S. for a showdown with Russia, and in Congress there was acknowledgement that only the European Union could take severe punitive economic action against Russia, not something the EU's major powers want to do.
We're working very closely with our European counterparts, but the reality is, Russia is it's a very large economy. It's a $2 trillion economy, 8th largest in the world. There are interconnections on the trade front, on the financial front, on the market front. It's important that we're proportionate in our response depending on Russia's actions.
In Rome, the U.S. Secretary of State was asked about whether he was satisfied with the EU's response.
There may be some differences of opinion about timing or about one particular choice versus another. That's not unusual when you have as many countries working together as we do.
For some, the emphasis on de-escalation is welcome.
Given the threat of war in Ukraine, given the threat that economic sanctions against Russia will produce a hike in Russian gas prices, that will produce a new world recession, I think that caution at this stage is very sensible indeed.
Now, President Obama must decide whether domestic political demands from protesters like this to firmly project U.S. power over Russia in Europe are in America's strategic interest. Shihab, Rattansi, Al Jazeera, Washington.